Wow, our next reader is Paul Burgoyne. Am I pronouncing that properly? Yay, all the way from British Columbia, Canada. Thank you. And he is going to read an excerpt from his third prize novel, 2 Seasons.
Thank you. I'm reading the first few paragraphs of this novel, and it's a story of a boy trying to find his place in life while his family disintegrates around him. It's set in the late 1960s. Don't hold back, Boone. My mother dropped to her knees, then pushed herself up into a catcher's crouch. Throw me your best pitch. Just keep your eyes on the target. She wore cut-off jeans, and her legs, tanned from gardening, bore the dirt stains of a Bush League backstop. She punched her glove and splayed it open for me. I pulled off my red cap. With the intertwined STL and my limp black mop fell in front of my eyes. I wiped my brow with my sleeve and tucked my hair back under the cap snugged low on my forehead. Indian summer had stretched into October behind our home in the south end of Spokane. My mother squatted in front of a tarp draped over the clothesline to keep the ball from marking the house when my wild throws sailed out of her reach. Propped on the window ledge, a hi-fi played the Beatles singing Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Sit back and let the evening flow. I had made the St. Louis Cardinals as a 10-year-old and stood on the backyard pitcher's mound ready to face Boston's greatest threat in the 1967 World Series. In my mind, I saw Carl Yastrzemski knock the clay off his cleats and screw his left foot into the back of the batter's box. The biggest game of my life depended on the strength of my right arm. I'd been glued to the TV as the Cardinals stole the final game of the series from Boston. Bob Gibson, back on the mound after his leg had been broken by a Roberto Clemente line drive in July, shut the door on the Sox and hit a homer of his own to rub it in. Win this game, and I'd be champion of the world. My mother nodded. I took my cue, rocked back into my best Bob Gibson wind-up, and delivered the ball smack into her mitt. She keeled over backwards, and the crowd exploded. Strike 3, Cardinals win. My teammates rushed the mound and lifted me on their shoulders, my parents among them. Lou Brock rushed in from left field and launched himself into the middle of the surging huddle. My father leapt toward me and grasped my arm, his face a blush of pride. The mob drifted toward the dugout where the cameras flashed and reporters shoved their microphones in my face. How does it feel to win the series as a 10-year-old? My mother's laugh rose over the music, and she pushed herself up and blew back a shock of dark curls. Good pitch, Boone. I didn't know you could throw that hard. A moment later, the music died, and my father stood on the back stairs in his charcoal gray suit. He tugged his tie, rubbed his forehead, and went back inside. Game over, my mother said. We better go see what Chef Boyardee prepared for dinner. We slid the tarp off the line and folded it like a flag before we stowed it under the back stairs next to the gardening tools. The last warm day of fall faded with an orange fringe on the western sky. When we stepped into the kitchen, my father stood at the counter in a white apron with a knife in his hand, a pot already steaming on the stove. I see you've done nothing about dinner again. His lip curled into a humorless smile as he scraped carrot peelings into the garbage under the sink. I picked up some pork chops. Boone, put the record player back where it belongs. The knife pounded the cutting board. And can we let baseball season die now? Thank you.